Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and through you to the members. It may be a surprise to some of you that I stand here to oppose this bill today. Over the past few years, we've heard about bailouts, the auto bailouts, Wall Street bailouts, the big bank bailouts. And the thing that upset everybody from both sides of the aisle about the bailouts is that so often these companies were their own worst enemies. They brought the problems upon themselves. Well, today we're being asked to fund a $51 million bailout for the MBTA, an organization that has been operating in the red and will be for the foreseeable future, an organization that refuses to take on meaningful reforms, and an organization that is living beyond its means. My friends, I don't know how we look into the eyes of the taxpayers and tell them that this $51 million is a wise business investment. Let's just acknowledge the elephant in the room. We are being asked to fund a $51 million Band-Aid because the MBTA will be back next year and the year after that asking for millions more. Today, state and municipal revenues already account for 2 out of every $3 that the MBTA receives. And in fact, in FY 10, 11, and 12, the state has given another $500 million additional to help the MBTA. And what has the MBTA done to address this reoccurring deficit? They continue to look at billions in expansions when they don't have the funds and the means to do so. They haven't cleaned up fraud and abuse and inefficiencies under their own roof. It appears that some believe that this reoccurring deficit will just clear up like hocus pocus. Well, in February, my friends, the Inspector General offered the MBTA a report on how to save $60 million annually just by making some common sense reforms to some of their programs. And the MBTA has yet to implement those changes and don't anticipate taking on any of those changes until the year 2015. So I ask you all to reflect on your own careers outside of this building. Many of you are business owners. Some of you have owned businesses for 35 years. And if any business in the private sector operated the way that the MBT operates, they would have been closing up shop a long time ago. So I ask, how many more, Mr. Speaker? How many more times will we help the MBTA before they will help themselves? I encourage you all to say no more revenues without reforms. Meaningful reforms. The MBTA needs to look in the mirror and instead of asking the legislature to bail themselves out and kick the can down the road, they need to look at reforms. But instead of reforms, the MBTA seems to be happy as a pig in slop, requesting more money from this legislature time and time again. Well, it's time to take on reforms. Our taxpayers deserve it, and it's time to see some changes for long-term stability of this transportation system. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.